You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
In this episode,
It's
we talked to
Wondercon.
Travis.
The Wondercon episode.
Is it?
Yeah, Brandon's not here. Get out of here, Brandon.
Where is Brandon? Brandon is next to me, and yet seems like he's in another world.
Brandon is a conscientious objector to podcasting. He's had enough. He doesn't believe in the politics of
He's
podcasting.
just finally decided that's it.
He's like, I do all the work anyway. Why should I have to talk too?
Are you really not going to be part of this podcast? Oh shit, and he shakes his head no. All right.
Hi, everybody.
Well,
I'm
I guess
Travis.
Travis and I, Chelsea, will talk about
Yeah.
WonderCon, even though only half of us were there.
Yeah. I should have gone.
You should have.
Jeez.
Travis, where were you?
I was home cleaning my bathroom.
Okay, what time did you do that? What panel was that?
I don't know. I have to check the schedule
Did
again.
you go to
I
the
have check
Lysol
schedule.
panel? Oh, I'd be all over those housewife. I'm such a cliche, but I'd be all over those cleaning tips panels.
I do actually have a number of questions that I'm going to ask you about WonderCon. But before we get to that, we have to tell everybody how they can contact
Break
us
it
and
down.
follow us and do all
You
those
do it.
things.
You're
So,
really good at that part.
I did it last week when it was just me and Brandon, and he didn't even realize I had done it. At one point, he had just completely zoned out, and then he tried to do it again, and I was like, Brandon, I already did this part.
Oh,
And he's like,
no.
oh,
I
I'm
will
just used
say-
to doing it because you've been.
I know you guys don't listen to the episodes after, but I did, especially since I wasn't in it and I wanted to be in the loop of what you guys talked about. And the ad was in the wrong spot. Let me just tell you guys, it was
It's our trademark move.
ridiculously off. Okay, sorry. You do your housekeeping.
I think we just kept talking and forgot completely to have an intentional ad break. So
Brandon,
as Brandon
silent
puts his
thumbs
thumb
up
up in your face.
isn't going to translate.
Yeah. We'll try to be intentional about our ad breaks. I'll add it to my meager show notes here in just a second. But if you're new here, if you're listening for the first time, you want to
You're
follow us
welcome.
somewhere. Yeah. Thank you for being here. And follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/apathetic enthusiasm show. You can find us on Instagram, apathetic_enthusiasm. You can send us an email at apatheticenthusiasmshow@gmail.com. And you can find us on the web at apatheticenthusiasm.com. If you're watching, you like videos, if you like to watch, as they say,
Hey,
you can go to youtube.com. You can go to youtube.com/apathetic enthusiasm. And a big thanks to all the patrons at patreon.com/apathetic enthusiasm. Join the Patreon. You can get access to old bonus content and things that we don't really support anymore, but we're still grateful for you.
Oh my gosh.
Boners.
And to anyone who feels intimidated by how fast Travis spieled those out, he's cheating. He looked at something. He was reading it off of something. He's
I
no
always look.
Peter
I always
Sagal.
have it open.
Brandon's mouthing words to me, but I
You don't
refuse to
think Peter-
translate for him.
You don't think Peter Sagal also reads
You
everybody
don't
on
think
NPR?
He's got it memorized by now. He
They're-
says it.
They just have a script and they're just reading. Come on.
He still says it pretty fast, like the Micro Machines guy. Sorry, that's for our generation.
That was a
Surely
fantastic
there are no
reference,
young
though.
people listening to this. They don't give two craps.
One way that I try to fall asleep at night is I will put NPR, the NPR app on my phone, and then I'll
Just
set a
listen to
30-minute
Peter
sleep
Sagal
timer.
talk really fast.
And it always starts with live from NPR News. This is Dan Schmoklin from New York City.
Oh my!
And
I'm
and-
Wacky
and-
Smee.
Oh,
yes, all right.
some
Thank you. I
comments.
think our producer was trying to talk to us. I don't know.
Lackby Shmee.
Lack me shmee. But they always mispronounce things in the way that they're reading it, and they're not. They're just reading the news that they were
I'm
given.
gonna need an example. Like
Teheh.
Teheh.
Tehi.
That's
It's the.
it. Is the
It's the. So Chelsea,
Yes.
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh,
Pleasure to be
always
here.
a treasure and a pleasure. I was going to say pleasure and I was going to say joy. And then I couldn't decide which wonderful word you were.
Okay. I'll take all of the above.
Travis.
So how was
as a
WonderCon?
Treasure. WonderCon was wonderful. Ugh, God, I'm sorry. I did not have anything queued up for that. I know. Run it back. Back to one, everyone. How was WonderCon? Man, that shit's out of this world. It was crazy bonkers.
Crazy bonkers.
It was different this year because Brandon didn't have anyone to interview. So we just wandered aimlessly, which was new for us. As I'm sure it would have been for you. When was the last time you went somewhere con-wise and wandered aimlessly without a task on hand?
It's usually just the last day and a half of San Diego Comic-Con where we've already done all the things that we've obligated ourselves for.
Okay,
but at that point, we're just exhausted. And then, okay.
Maybe
you're like, why are you still there then?
No, because you know more about the cons than I do because you've been to more and you've paid closer attention. I am literally wandering around looking at the ceiling during parts of it. It's
people spend thousands of dollars to get your attention and you're like, oh, look at the ceiling.
Oh, look at that. It's leaking. Gross. I'm wondering, I have this idea that on Sundays, things should be on sale. And so I'm like, we'll just wait till Sunday and they'll mark that down. But I have not found that to be the case so far. But have you?
At some smaller conventions, and definitely there's some vendors, so to speak, that will bring a lot of stuff to sell at a different convention. And then it's almost costs more for them to ship that back to wherever they're from or to bring it back with them. So sometimes, yes, I have seen vendors that will mark down merchandise or things like that on the last day of a convention. But especially if they're going to a lot of conventions or it's I don't know, companies larger companies that have an online presence and things like that, the odds of them marking things down the last day.
It was a bummer. Things
high.
Were definitely marked up. We were there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there was a bat wing Lego set there that was definitely more expensive on Saturday than it was on Friday. So we're like, we'll wait till Sunday and see what happens. It's gone. Somebody done bat swooped it up.
Done bought it. They bat bought it.
Do you have input, Mr. Cruz? Get in here. You can't even help yourself.
No, I mean, you said bat swooped it up and that tickled me. It tickled me in why? It's just, the first day it was, so we talked about this in our swap meet podcast about when I got the Ultimate tie advance, but it's 10 cents a piece. That's what you want to shoot for resell. The first day, I think the Batwing is 3,300 pieces. And the first day it was selling for
and you had to do some quick math.
Holy
moly with that decimal.
310. And I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Mental abacus in his brain.
Yeah. And they also had the Batmobile, not just the Batwing, but the Batmobile.
The Batmobile.
Yeah, for the babies.
For the babies, they hang it over the crib.
And that was 3,500 pieces, and that was 320. And so I was like, okay, well, we'll see what this is like on day two. Day two, they replaced the stickies, and then it went from 310 and 320 to
it was 330
and 380.
When we saw it.
Yeah, it jumped in price. And I was like, oh, okay, I see how you guys are going to do this. All right. Well,
maybe someone realized what they had.
Yeah. So we went back on Sunday and it wasn't there anymore. And I was like,
then maybe they really realized what they had and they took it off the shelf.
I'm keeping this.
The only thing, and the only thing they had left was the Tantive 4 from Star Wars: A New Hope. And it was expensive too. And I don't want that ship.
What's a tantric fur?
What
did you say?
It's a different. That's a topic for a different podcast.
What's a Tantive 4?
Tantive 4 is the ship that Princess Leia was trying to escape on in Star Wars: A New Hope. and she.
Trick question. You're a nerd.
The diplomatic vessel.
See what I did there?
Okay, back to producing.
Oh
Bye.
no, I made him go quiet.
Oh, he's
again.
gone again. He's gone.
I hate this.
Oh no.
All right. Well, I have a whole bunch of questions about WonderCon. I've never been to WonderCon. But there's some things that are common in all sorts of these comic
I
conventions.
can't imagine that it could have been that different from any other con.
It's exactly the same. You've been to one, you've been to them all. Yeah, so stop going and making it crowded for the rest of us.
But we still buy things.
Yeah. So first off, you mentioned I think panels earlier. Did you guys attend any panels
We
while
did,
you were there?
but Brandon's gonna have to jump in for this one because we went to a panel at 9 p.m., which is late for the cruise family, you guys.
Yeah.
And it was upcoming video games that probably everyone is hyped about. It was like a BuzzFeed article. It was listed like that. And so I went and I was like, yeah, boring. I gummied my way through that podcast. But Brandon, there were 5 people up on the panel. Only 2.5 of them spoke. The half person barely, like she would be way back. She was way back here. And then every once in a while, if she had any input, she would just lean forward to, maybe you should talk about Popeyes. I don't even know what she said. Didn't she say Popeyes? Pioneer. Something that started with a P.
Maybe you should talk about Popeye's chicken.
I don't know what she said. The other 2 only said anything if the guy who claimed he was going to stop talking because he was tired of talking mentioned them by name. But he did the rest of the talking. So Brandon's going to have to jump on here to give you the info on that.
Yeah. Do you want some info, Travis? I'll give you some info. Let me adjust my camera here.
Let me
I have
just
to be
take this
off camera to
Let me just
do it?
cut Chelsea out of the podcast.
Yeah, let me talk about this real fast. So
Okay.
this panel, right, Chelsea? this panel, not ASMR, Chelsea. We love ASMR, Chelsea, here on this podcast.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So 9:30 at night, we don't go to these panels normally, just in general to WonderCon panels. And we decided, let's look at what the schedule's looking like. This panel's interesting. And Dexter, he was like, maybe they'll talk about Elden Ring, Night Rain, the new Elden Ring game that's coming out. It's co-op based, and it comes out in May. So he's like, maybe they'll talk about that. So he was excited. So we are like, okay. We get him out of the gym pool at the Hilton, which
Talk about the pool after.
I'll let Chelsea tell that story when I put the camera back on her. But we left that early so we can get to this panel. We get to this panel and, again, like 5 people. And then they're fiddling with their laptop, and you on the big display, and if you've been to any convention, you've been to any panel, they have like a big screen there. For behind the scenes, you attach your regular laptop to their HDMI cable.
Okay, slow down. What do you do behind the scenes? Because I would be one of these people. It's like, I'm just gonna have to tell you what's on my laptop at the moment.
Behind
you plug in a cable.
Behind the scenes, you plug in a cable, and it goes to your computer, which makes the display show up on the screen in the room.
They were having issues.
But
video game people.
These video game people, and on the screen in the room, you see all their desktop, all of their files on the desktop, their Windows Explorer.
I didn't realize that was weird until Brandon pointed it out. I didn't know that was unacceptable.
And like, oh, cool. Like your screenplay title is there on the screen. That's great. That's great. But then they're like, okay, and then you can see their file structure in File Explorer. And it's like, okay, it's WonderCon 2025. Cool. Great. So then they're like going through all the file names, and you can see what the file names are. And they're like, let's try this one. The first clip they put is this game called Pioneer, but I think they spelled it wrong. Somebody spelled it.
Please let it actually be called Pioneer. I can't stand it if it was actually called Pioneer and they misspelled Pioneer that many times in that
To be
video
fair,
game demo.
to be fair, it's not the panel that we watched that Pioneer was wrong. It was actually the developer. So it's Pioneer with only one E. And as soon as they press play, blasts the sound.
Oh my God. We all almost bled
So
out.
loud. Everyone at 9:30 at night, everyone's already tired. They're like, we've been wandering around this convention floor all day. We're just here to see some relaxing video game trailers. And then all of a sudden, boom!
It was the loudest thing. My Apple Watch said, "Oh no, there's a noise disturbance somewhere near you." I was like, "Yeah, buddy."
It sounds like you're in a loud area. You should use hearing protection.
The watch is like, you lost your hearing. That's all.
Okay,
That's all.
condense the story though, because
Okay,
there's
okay.
like 70 other stories.
Okay. All right. What happens is they suck. They're not a great panel. They don't lead the conversation very well. They ask for the one guy who says he's tired and he doesn't want to talk anymore. He continues to talk. And then like, okay, yeah, let's ask questions in the audience. Any questions? Okay, one of the things we want to talk about is blah 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 blah
He
blah
would
blah.
say,
blah.
"Does anybody have any questions about any rumors they've heard about?" And then he would fill in the name of the video game that he wanted to talk about. So it was like, "Does anybody want to talk about this?" I'm gonna. And then you did.
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh, is it about? This is what I'm going to talk about.
Also, I have this thought about.
Pioneer. Let's talk about Pioneer.
Yeah, so it was a lot of that, and so Dexter again, he wanted to hear about Elden Ring, Night Rain. So I was like, they had mentioned something about Fallout previously with like the new season coming out, and then rumors about the new Fallout game eventually. And so I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask a question, and I had my hand raised for a while, and they weren't calling on me, and
We
eventually
were on the wrong side of the room.
And eventually I called out, and I was like, okay, two parts. One about Fallout, the new season of the show's coming out. How do you think that ties in synergy-wise to the new game? Are they going to pull from that? Blah, 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 blah. And then second question, Elden Ring Night Rain. What are your thoughts on that? Like, have you heard any rumors, anything? And they're like, yeah, we hear it's going to be tough.
Yep, that's what he said.
Fallout.
Actually, what he said was, "We hear people are going to be mad at how hard it is."
Yeah.
Then Dexter's face was just disappointment emoji.
Yeah. It
We
was
went to dinner after and ChatGPT'd Elden Ring a bunch, and Dexter just like, "I got way more information from ChatGPT than I did from that podcast."
Dexter and I, Chelsea, what a good soul, what a good patient soul.
That's right.
Dexter and I bitched about that panel for the next hour and a half. We're like, and for me, we've done panels, Travis. This is the type of panel that makes you be like, God, we should do more panels because we're so much better than.
But
than
they
half
bitched
people.
their way through their nighttime get ready for bed routine, which was what was getting me. It was they're like, we're in the hotel room, they're getting jammies on, they're brushing their teeth the whole time, they're in and out, crossing paths in the bathroom, out of the bathroom, the whole time they're like, "Didn't that guy suck? Remember that time that guy sort of..." And then just every once in a while, one
For
of them would be
audio
like,
listeners,
"They
Chelsea is miming brushing her teeth.
I make all the fun noises over here. Sorry again.
Anyway, it sucked. It sucked. It was not good. They showed at one point in time. They showed they're like, oh, here's one thing we wanted to show you, but we couldn't get the video to play, so we're not going to show you that.
But they did show us the name of the file. That was all they showed us, and it was like 800 XZC //.
Oh, and check this out. Space Marine 3 is coming out. Here's a
Still
picture
photograph. Yeah,
Here's
so they
a file
actually in
name.
their file that they had to show us videos, there were maybe like 8 different files, and 2 of them were the same, and one of them wouldn't play, and 2 were pictures. So we watched 3, I think. One that almost killed everybody, and then the other 2.
Okay, but
It was an hour-long
Where-
panel. We stayed for the whole thing.
we
Stayed for the whole thing.
The whole thing.
we bitch about that one, but we did go to some decent panels.
We did. We went
I was going
to
to say, were there any panels you guys liked?
we went to Gremlins, the new batch panel,
Oh, is that the new movie that's coming out? Or?
the Wild Patch. Batch.
Wild Batch.
Okay, just say it out loud with your voice and words.
I wanted you to know what you're talking
Okay,
about.
the new batch. Sorry, that's Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
This is the new cartoon, second season, Gremlins, the Wild Batch.
Wild Batch. Okay.
And so we just wanted to go see, they were going to show a sneak preview of the newest episode that hadn't aired yet. So that's what we wanted to see. But then Joe Dante came out and he directed Gremlins and lots of other things. Look him up.
The Burbs.
There you go. Keep going.
With Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Inner Space.
Keep going.
The Twilight Zone episode, the Twilight Zone movie portion of the recreation of It's a Good Life.
That's right. And more. And then John Glover came out with him, and John Glover was like, "Is that Lex Luthor's dad?" In Smallville, he played Lionel Luthor. That's what I knew him from. But he's also in Gremlins too. He's the head of the industry, the head of the building, Mr. Clamp, and he's a smarmy kind of guy that he plays. Yes, for anyone not watching, Travis mimed clamps, but kind of crab's hands.
Get the clamps.
That's what Travis-
All right. Did they take questions?
They did they? I was.
They
I don't think they had time. They were really.
they took a couple of questions, but so they had the composer for the Gremlins cartoon. They had
Right.
the producer. They had another maybe head writer or showrunner, and then John Glover and Joe Dante. So some of the, I was surprised that they didn't say like, "Hey, what's going on with Gremlins 3?" Instead, they're like, "What's it like writing music for a show about
No,
Gremlins?"
they were just kind of like, did you ever imagine that your movie that you made would be turned into a cartoon? And if you had, what did that look like to you? And anyway, that was a cool panel.
What did you think of Joe Dante?
He seemed very unassuming and quiet, and he seemed like just the sweetest old man.
The greatest part about his talking, maybe not the greatest part, but like a thing that the crowd all laughed about was Clamp Industries. That character John Glover plays in Gremlins 2 is modeled after Ted Turner and a certain.
He said, someone who we will not name, a businessman who was big in the 90s.
We don't take, and he's like, we don't take any credit or blame for.
But John
his rise.
Glover, the way he spoke was such a juxtaposition to Joe Dante, who was just very quiet and sat there. And John Glover was very big and big gestures, and he looked like he would be comfortable on stage in a play, a drama theater.
On the
Such
theater.
thing. He didn't talk like that.
On screen instead of behind the camera.
Yes, thanks, Harry. Is
And
that
then-
your Harry Potter impression?
Yes.
Yeah. R.I.P. Hagrid.
Fibbity-bobbity-foo.
And we did
What's
see
the death spell?
abracadabra.
Oh,
Abracadabra.
okay, nerd.
By the way, I taught Dexter during this WonderCon that it's like in Lion King when Simba's being told about like the Shadowlands, like don't go there. There is an area of the WonderCon of like the booths where you're like, don't go over there. Those are Trekkies.
I wondered why you guys
What's
did it.
in
You
that
did a
shadowy place?
quick U-turn.
That's the Trekkies, son.
And then I just heard you,
You
say,
must never
blah,
go
blah,
there.
blah,
Yeah,
Star Trek.
I was like Trekkies. Look, those are real nerds, Dexter.
There they are in the wild.
We've just gotten rid of another 10% of our listener.
Yeah,
base.
sorry.
I'm for them. Come on back, Treksters.
We looked at one more panel.
Oh yeah, we went to a voice actor panel. And it said there's going to be a couple surprises. So I was like, who are these surprises going to be? Maybe it's someone that I've met over my 42 years and they'll take us to dinner. That was really what I was going for. That didn't
Chelsea's
happen.
just always looking for that free dinner.
I just wanted some free chips and salsa.
Is this the free dinner panel? No.
I got hooked. Brandon was like, ooh, a poster. It's free. And then you feel that free something in your backpack and you get the... Oh, man. I want that free
the
high.
swag.
I was riding that swag high.
Mm.
The
I guess
voiceover actors
go
that they had on the panel. Sorry. Did you have a question about voiceover
No.
actors?
I will at some point, potentially. I don't know.
It was very interesting to me to watch that kind of thing. But one of the guys, and I can't remember his name, does the voice now for Donald Duck. Do you know who does the voice for Donald Duck?
I think he has a beard.
Well, he might sometimes, but he didn't.
I don't know.
At
I
the
made that
time.
up. I don't know who does the voice.
Are
of
you
Donald
thinking
Duck.
of the guy with the iron shavings for hair? That guy has a beard with the magnet.
Iron shavings for hair?
There's little iron filings in there and you take your little magnet pencil and you can give him a beard. You can give him bushy eyebrows.
Woolly Willy?
Wooly Willy. That's who you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
But special guest was so fun and amazing. It was Cookie Monster. And Wally Wingert, I guess, voices him now. I don't know, but he had him on his lap. I pretend like he's a real thing.
Like actual Cookie Monster was there?
Yes. And spoke
That is...
and ate something. And we all went crazy for it. It was wild. He ate a piece of paper and we were all like, whoa! It was so fun. I was like, I could just watch Cookie Monster do a panel. Wally
I'm
Wingert
sure that would be entertaining.
is, I guess, he does the Riddler. I know that, but he has been around for friggin' ever, and now I can't think of any of his things. Brandon's.
Well,
Googling.
let me tell you what Wally Wingert's been.
I mean, he's not Googling. He was just thinking.
Yeah. He was the Riddler in Batman Arkham Asylum.
Mhm.
You mentioned that. He was in Final Fantasy VII. He was in Bleach. He was in The Adventures of Garfield.
Oh, that's right. He did John Arbuckle from Garfield.
He's in Starfield, Tiger and Bunny.
Look back in the 80s, because I'm pretty sure he's been doing it. The guy that was sitting next to him is now Starscream for the Transformers. And so it used to be Charlie Adler. Mr. Charlie Adler was the voice of Starscream. And that's who I was kind of hoping would take us to dinner. He was not there. He was probably at dinner by himself. Or not. That sounded terrible.
Yelling at the other
By himself.
Decepticons.
He was at dinner, just enjoying all the fruits of his own labors. I didn't get any. No fruits.
I just don't know who that new Donald Duck voice is, because he was really good at it.
Really good.
But I'm not seeing anything on Google for him.
When I said Donald Duck to my dad, he said Jim Cummings, and I said no, I know who that is, and I would have known if that was Jim Cummings, but I can't remember that guy's name. Anyway, call to action.
This isn't like a Matt Nastos situation.
No.
No, like I'm the voice of Donald Duck, and it's just some random dude.
Or like
that
a
can
Micah
do a
Wright situation.
Convincing Donald
Oh,
impression.
Daniel Ross. Daniel
Ross.
Ross is the name of the gentleman.
Yeah.
He's the
Guy
current
from
voice. Yeah, he's current voice actor for Donald Duck. He's done a bunch of other things. He's Gizmo in
That's right.
the
Wild
game.
Batch. Oh, the game.
Wild Batch and the game for
And that was a
Multiverses.
weird tie-in. Those we didn't watch those back to back or at the like same day even. Those famous people are just all over. And then I passed Patton Oswalt and I knew it was him from the shape of his head, but he had a mask on. And we passed Brian Posehn and we didn't stop and say hi because he snubbed us one Comic-Con 15 years ago. And so we never forgave him. And who else did we see? Oh, Mr. Neville Page.
Neville Page. If you don't know who Neville Page is, He is from the hit show Face Off on Sci-Fi. But maybe you don't know him from that. He was actually a special effects artist.
Travis, did you ever watch Face Off? Where they all compete, special effects makeup competitors?
Yeah, I vaguely remember talking to Brandon about it several times.
And they don't make it anymore.
Never watched it.
Such a good show. Anyway, he was one of the judges on the show. And I was talking to him on the escalator. There was a situation where he and his partner, I don't want to assume anything, it was his wife or his girlfriend or whatever. Anyway, he and another lady were trying to keep this 8-year-old from killing himself on the escalator right next to me. They were yanking him back and he was holding on to the railing and the railing was going faster than the stairs. And it was a whole situation, danger moment. And so I made some comment to them. I would have saved him. Don't worry about it. So then we just chatted, blah, blah, blah. Then we got off the escalator and went our separate ways. And I said, was that Neville Page? And Brandon said, I think it was. Cut to 5 minutes later, we go to our hotel. We're getting ready to get on the elevator, and they're right in front of us in line for the elevator. Now it looks like I'm following Neville Page to his hotel, to the elevator in his hotel. And so instead of just letting them turn around and find me, I decided to break the ice. Go.
I was going to say, you didn't like rush in front of him and jump in the elevator and be like, what floor, Mr. Page?
And all of a sudden I was dressed like a bellhop from the 40s. No, instead I awkwardly got their attention from behind them. I'm here again to save your child from the elevator this time. And they were like, oh, here you are. It was very uncomfortable. We all got in the same elevator. He says, we're going to the 10th floor. Someone else had already pushed 10. He goes, oh, someone else pushed 10. And he turned around and looked at me and I was like, I'm not on the same floor as you. That's not me. He goes, oh, darn it. I thought we were soulmates. I'm like, well, if your kid falls off the balcony, we're on the 5th floor and I will catch him. So it sounds like a threat. Also, though.
Yeah, you better watch your kid near that balcony, Neville.
Don't Eric Clapton your kid,
oh my
Neville
God,
Page.
Brandon, too soon. No, terrible. You could have at least made a Lars von Trier joke. That's way more recent.
Neville's in heaven.
Oh, no. You didn't go Tears in Heaven?
No, I didn't.
We don't know what his kid's name is anyways.
No.
But because we have a child, I often throw Dexter under the bus for making awkward conversation. Be like, I have a kid too. See me, I'm just a weird mom. And then they're a lot more accepting of me.
Not just a stalker. Look at this
not
child
just
that's with
a
me.
Stalker. I have lots of facets. But anyway, that was the biggest sighting I thought.
It's pretty excellent.
And we saw
It's
Casper
good.
Van Dien.
Did you know his daughter was there too? Do you know what her name is?
What's her name?
Something Van Dien. I don't know what her first name is. Does it matter?
I thought you were going to have another joke like you said to me, you know what? He used to date Christina Ricci. And that was a Casper joke that was so... It took me so many steps to get there.
No, I don't make Casper jokes.
That's what you get when Brandon's in the production booth.
Well, guys, I hate to interrupt, but we have a commercial break coming up.
Maybe.
When we come back, we will be talking more about WonderCon, including vendors and booths and all the merch and swag that you guys are able to find. So, after this break, stick around. We'll be right back.
And now we're back to Apathetic Enthusiasm featuring Chelsea and Travis.
You just have that as like a drop, Brandon, that you can just hit a button.
You've got it.
You asked for it. How do you not know that's what he says? You listen to it. So
You've got it. There it is.
You requested it.
We have numerous versions of that we had to go through and like pick the best one.
You should have him redo it. His voice has probably changed since then. His balls dropped and now he's got a deep voice.
His voice suddenly got really high.
His balls went up.
Like, you asked for it.
Here it is. I don't even know how much more if you have WonderCon questions, I'm not sure I have the answers for you.
All I have is WonderCon questions.
Ceiling
That's the whole episode, Chelsea. That's it.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
I'm assuming they had like.
All right. Well, first of all, first thing we did was play King of Tokyo, which is a game we have at home. Then the next major thing we did was play the Dig Dug machine, which we also have at our own friggin' home. So I was like, we sure did drive a long way for us to play the games that we own. So,
Chelsea, why did we play King of Tokyo at the start?
To get loose and limber. We already talked about that. That was the thing. But the Dig Dug was just because Brandon and Dexter like to leave their little mark everywhere they go. And so gotta get the high score so that people know we were here. And then I unplugged it as soon as they walked away.
I heard Dex held the high score for a majority of the convention.
At least the whole time he was standing there. For sure.
I mean, that's a claim to fame. Yes, me.
Yeah, he was number 2 on the leaderboard charts until we went back. We were going to go home.
We went back.
BTC.
Instead of going home, we were like, let's just go over here. Oh, my bed's over there. Let's go over there.
Let's roll this dice at Purdue University.
Oh my gosh, you guys got to get one of these dice.
And then let's check the Dig Dug. So we went back to Dig Dug. He was number 2. He tried to get number 1, and we just didn't have time because Chelsea's like, "Come on, guys, I want to go home and go to sleep."
Yeah, that sounds like me.
But now Purdue.
No, Brandon probably had to poop.
Yeah, it's true.
On Sunday morning, it was like, let's go.
Yeah, but Purdue.
You guys should get. They had a custom made 20-sided die that you could roll, inflatable die. It was huge, so that you could give it a little spin, and then you win a prize based on what number you. The prizes were they were crappy, but
like instant ink, like branded, like business
a
swag.
sticker that looks like a pennant or something to put like a first place ribbon that says +5 intelligence points. We have like 4 of those now. We have +20 intelligence points between the 3 of us.
Wow, that's impressive, actually.
And then we did take a survey because I'm like, well, I want something bigger than that. And you got a t-shirt if you took the 2-minute survey. So now we have 2 Purdue University t-shirts that were free and a set of Purdue dice, which Brandon was miming to me. And when you mime rolling dice, it does not often look like rolling dice unless you're having a dice conversation.
Anyway. That makes sense. That does make sense. Is the show floor at WonderCon? I'm assuming it's a lot smaller than like San Diego.
It is, yes. And I know San Diego's multiple floors, right? Like it doesn't just have one.
Yeah, I mean there are some exhibitors on like a second floor, and then like all of like the meet and greet area is up in like the sun room. And then obviously all like the different conference rooms with all the panels and things like that. But yeah, was it like a I'm assuming it was this like a convention center? Was it the Anaheim Convention Center?
It is the Anaheim Convention Center.
Okay.
So we stayed in the Hilton next to the Anaheim Convention Center, which sounds zhuzhy, but they were under construction and they don't tell you that on their website. So let me tell you about the pool situation. And maybe I should have Brandon tell you because he gets riled up about it. And so then he's more emotional about it than I am. I was just kind of like, oh, look at online, looking at their website, look at this pool. We're going to go in the pool, pack your stuff. And it's nice and sunshiny and everything. 2 jacuzzis. Oh, a little splash pad.
Just pretend to be me for the sake of storytelling.
You okay? Okay, so winter, and you think that I went Seinfeld. Sorry. So we're like, let's find the pool.
Have you ever been to a hotel?
The pool is surrounded in orange cones, orange tape, yellow tape, anything that says, do not go in this pool. So I'm like, all right, well, that sucks.
You
They're
dove
like, we
right
have a
over
pool in the gym down in the basement, like the Alamo basement of the hotel. And so because that was the only thing available, there were 4 other little kids in this teeny ass gym pool. And I'm like, well, there's a jacuzzi in there. Oh, it's out of order. Oh, the gym pool is freezing. Oh, it's just was.
It's just 4 kids just roughhousing, and then one 80-year-old dude trying to swim laps.
It
But, like-
seems like it should have been. It was a piss poor representation, Paris Hilton, of your name brand. Get it together.
Was she there? Did you see her? Did you chase
She
her
would
in an
never
elevator?
be seen in that stage of a Hilton. It was
Yeah.
not fancified. But I guess they're just
That's
getting
hot.
ready for summertime, Disney, blah, blah, blahs.
Yeah. Disneyland's pretty close, I've heard.
We had a Disney, a view of the fireworks that was sold to us for the room. Like, yeah, you'll be able to see the fireworks in this room. And sure enough,
Not the pool, though.
right over the 16-story building that was right in front of our patio, I could see the glow of lights possibly changing in the distance. It looked like in a Sleeping Beauty when the godmothers are having a fight in their little cottage and
Make
the
it
colors
blue.
just come out of
pink.
the chimney. That's what it
Yes.
looked like. I was seeing the chimney
Magical.
colors. It
Truly
was
magical. Well,
Every
were there
once in a
any
while, I would see,
vendors
like,
or
3 little sparks came up over the thing, and I'm like, oh, they're
Cry
free.
a little bit?
I'm watching them for free. I didn't have to pay to go to Disneyland.
It was so interesting that Dexter and I watched Inglorious Bastards on Showtime instead.
I hung right in there. I was like, I'm not missing these. Oh, the sky right there, over there in that little spot, the sky turned red.
and you can't hear the music or anything. So
No,
it's
you just hear the.
No, you just hear the shots of murdering Hitler in the cinema.
Oh
at the
yeah,
end
we
of
were
the film.
watching it. That's Inglorious Bastards. That wasn't happening at Disney.
No, well, I mean, it might
Unless
be.
they've changed
not since
Phantasmic
1975.
to
Yeah.
a more Nazi based. I don't know.
Yeah. But
Dragon.
did you get any swag? Did you get any cool stuff?
Free cool stuff? Not so
Any
much.
like cool like glasses that you use as a visual in a year's
No.
worth of
I don't
podcast later or
think
anything like that?
we probably were not taking advantage of going to every single booth and seeing what they had to hand out there. We weren't being greedy about it. But
Okay.
we did find the one booth that was selling some kind of Elden Ring something. So Dexter got some big ass book about the DLC, which I learned means downloadable content. You're welcome.
See, we're learning things. We're learning.
Shots when Chelsea learns. Shots. Nope. And everyone's just soberly makes their way through the show because Chelsea doesn't learn anything. Travis is doing a shot of water.
Yeah. It's refreshing.
You saw a couple things you liked,
Mhm.
right? What were they?
Well, we bought a little holographic Godzilla poster for my nephew and a really cool, I almost bought the canvas of it, but it was $50. So I just bought the magnet of this print of Godzilla chomping and killing Thomas the Tank Engine. It was great.
That's cool.
And there,
You never seen it
let's see
before.
it.
You never.
and
It's not here. I delivered it today to the recipient.
there were a couple of cool things that we saw, but like you saw like a purse that was like kind of like a coffin shape.
Yeah, but then that girl was a bitch to me. I said, "Oh, your rug in front of your table almost made me dizzy, almost made me trip because it had some psychedelic image on it." And she went, "You're kidding. What are you, stoned?" And she said it was such an attitude. And I was, but still, I wasn't so stoned that I actually almost felt that I was, making a joke.
Yeah, and up until that point in time, we were about to buy the entire booth, basically.
I liked a lot of stuff
Yeah,
at her booth.
all
She
of
had coffin-shaped purses.
Yeah. I don't think she was the artist. I think she was there just like, my boyfriend's about to dump me.
She was
but
somebody's girlfriend.
yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Watch
Which we
the
all know is
booth,
the
babe. I
lowest
gotta go
on the-
get a hot dog.
Comic-Con hierarchy.
I gotta go get an Anaheim hot dog. Oh, real quick. Speaking of Anaheim hot dogs.
Oh my God, Brandon he jumped out of his chair. He got so excited.
Oh my gosh. Let me
Yes, you got to see his excited face.
let me just tell you the story real quick, Travis. So we're in line.
Speaking of showing your screen on camera.
Dexter and I were waiting in line. Well, all of us were waiting in line. We're getting food, right? And I get an orange, a couple churros, a couple drinks, and we're about to check out.
Oh, I was like, where is this story even going? This is not interesting.
We're about to check out. All of a sudden, like we walk past this kind of like fake plant, and Dexter touches the fake plant, and then he kind of like jumps, and I'm like, oh, it's just a fake plant, boy. But then he's like, something touched me. Look down, and it was a little mouse. A little mouse had dropped onto his arm and then fell down. And then him and I looked at this mouse like scurrying, trying to escape.
Did you make eye contact?
Yeah, he was like, help me, please.
There's so many nerds.
Help me get back to Disneyland.
There's a lot of feet here. I don't have a motorcycle. And there's a mouse that is probably dead now at the Anaheim Convention Center that fell on
Not if
Dexter.
he made it like the rat in the story of Babe the Pig.
Yeah. Ratatouille 2, Anaheim Convention Center.
What's the one with the pig?
Peppa.
Babe.
No.
Peppa
You know, it's famous. Charlotte's Web.
Oh, some pig.
But the rat in it. The affair is a wonderful smorgasbord.
I get that reference. Yeah.
Good.
I know what it is.
Brandon had a couple thumbs up from people who were like, I like your shirt, dude. And that's always a win whenever we go somewhere. And he saw someone he went to high school with. So
Is
he
it the
sees
same person
someone
that we
know
saw
everywhere
at-
we freaking go.
It
in
100%
San
is
Diego?
the same person.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
saw him before?
Yeah, we saw Thane at Comic-Con.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Well, there he was.
Shout out to Thane.
And who else, honey? Who else did you see there?
We saw Jimmy J.
Hey, the old J Bros.
Yep. So him and I sent him a text earlier, try to hit him up for amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con in June, see if there's any.
And if the stories that we have there are anything like the stories we got from this WonderCon,
Oh my gosh.
hold on to your hats and glasses.
Yeah, he should have us out and we can do panels. Brandon.
Yeah, that's
You
what
could. You can do them about anything. They let any yahoo onto a panel.
Let me talk about Rick and Morty. We have nothing official about our affiliation.
your files, Brandon. Show me your
All right.
file explorer. What are
Ba-
your extension names?
Back to you.
All right. Travis, follow-up questions? Quick.
Biggest
Before I
highlight
dump all
from
this out of my
WonderCon
memory.
weekend. Biggest highlight from the weekend.
Neville Page. I talked to him.
Okay.
I talked to him.
All right.
And I know it was a highlight because then when we finally left the elevator and I'm laughing, it's so funny, and the elevator doors closed and my legs almost gave out because I lost all the feeling in my legs. So I was like, oh, I talked to that famous person. Ooh. That's how I know it was a highlight.
That is exciting. That is
Also,
very
it was
exciting.
nice to have Dexter and Brandon there. And
they're okay.
We
too.
ate some food.
They're fine. Any regrets? Any missed opportunities? Things you wish you had,
I always
had
regret-
seen that you missed?
I want to buy everything. And so I always regret not just getting all the things I want to get. But I showed restraint and I regret it. I regret my restraint. And I
That's fair.
kind of
I
regret
get
not
that.
getting the all you can eat pizza at the restaurant. That was a whole other deal.
Pizza.
Yeah, she said it was like a Brazilian steakhouse kind of thing where they're just like, you know how they're just
with
like,
pizza.
yes. So you could just like bring, like, do you want this pizza now? Do you want to do that? And there came with charcuterie and everything. And nobody else at the table was interested, so I chickened out. I regret it.
Man. You could
I
have
wanted some of that
barbecue chicken
pizza. Plus, I'm hungry.
That's fair. All right. Well, sounds like a great WonderCon experience.
It was a WonderCon experience. It was better than Great Wolf Lodge. That's what we're basing things on, right? Ooh,
Yeah, that's the bar.
that's the bottom of the bar. So it's better than that.
Producer Brandon, did you have any highlights from WonderCon weekend?
Yeah, the highlight that I had from WonderCon weekend was and I talked to Chelsea about this, was not having any weight of any obligation this weekend. I think, going into WonderCon last year with Michael Cusack and talking about the Smiling Friends, and then looking for interview opportunities. I think going into this one, it was like, let's just go in, no interviews, no, we don't have to do anything. Let's just explore.
We wandered.
Yeah,
it was weird,
and it was nice, and it was important for me to just be able to spend that time with Chelsea and Dexter, and it was a nice escape from what we usually do in conventions. But it also,
I did notice you making a conscious effort to not book it everywhere we went. I was like that you slowed your steps.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to make sure I walk slow, and that I wasn't, because we talked about this too. Like, I walk with purpose. I walk I want to get to the destination for wherever I'm going, and I was already there where I needed to be, which was with you and Dexter. So, and also,
I was about to call him a tryhard.
And also, people suck at panels, and it really showed me that I need to do more of those, because I'm not saying I'm the greatest.
Was this exact episode better than that panel we watched?
Yeah, 100%.
Nailed it.
I bet somebody laughed at this episode.
It was me.
I just did.
I
Look at that.
laughed through the whole thing. I'm hilarious.
Even if it's not funny, we pretend to laugh at each other.
Yeah. They weren't even pulling that off. They weren't even pretending to be interested. It was 9:00 at night.
Yeah. But it's 9 o'clock at night.
It's not 10:18.
Oh, is it
Here.
10:18 somewhere, Travis?
It certainly is.
And yet you're still being entertaining.
Look at me.
Provocative questions. An interview star.
What do you know? Brandon, was there any Adult Swim presence there? That you're aware of?
No, not that. No, there wasn't. All the Adult Swim announcements came via email, just from standard Adult Swim stuff.
They're saving it, huh? They don't want to put anything out until San Diego.
And announcement of season 2 of that Shroom show we watched from Mike Judge.
Yeah, that was
I don't know what that is.
What it's called.
Yeah. Nothing other than that. I was waiting to see any of the Rick and Morty folks, because they're on the con circuit right now, basically worldwide. I would have expected them to be there, but nothing. So,
well, Mitch Shower wasn't there, and he just went to the Gainesville Comic-Con. So, I mean, come on. If he can make it to Gainesville, but he can't make it to WonderCon, come on.
Yeah, come on, Mitch.
Come on.
Mitch.
Come on.
Anyway, Travis, as a producer, I feel it is in our best interest to understand what you did in 10 seconds or less.
I played in a win-a-box Lorcana tournament.
And that's all we have.
And my son beat me and won the whole thing.
It's a podcast from Apathetic.
So mean. Oh my God. It's only funny when I do it to you.
All right, Travis. Okay, I'll give you an extra 15
Caleb
seconds.
beat you in a Lorcana tournament?
He did. He won the whole thing. He won a box. Yeah.
Way to bury the lead. We just talked about my boring shit for forever.
Yeah, you asked for it.
People are bored of Lorcana. They don't want to hear about Lorcana.
It's boring to hear that somebody won the tournament.
Yeah, whenever you talk to us about losing, we're like, okay, enough.
Losing is also interesting. Depends how funny it is and how sad it is.
Yeah, so it was a 3-round tournament. We were both undefeated after 2 rounds, and we were the only 2 undefeated players. So we had to play each other, and the winner would win. And he just absolutely destroyed me in 2 games. So,
and even though you wanted to take him down, but then it was like, you're the best around. And then you sweep the leg, and then, oh my God.
Yeah,
I got chills.
Did he use the power glove on you?
He did. He did. Everybody's like, you don't have to wear a power glove to play physical trading card. games.
like,
And he's
you
like,
don't know. The power's in me.
yeah.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gosh. Good for him.
He was so excited. He was so happy.
What did he win?
He won a box of cards. So 24 packs of trading cards.
What's the dollar value on that?
That box right now, because he did not get the current set that came out, but he got an older set, usually goes for about $80 right now.
Ooh, that's a good price.
Were there any
And who paid his
Enchanteds?
entry fee? This guy.
How much
Come
was the
on,
entry
what's-
fee?
Like $10.
Nice. You guys are in the red,
Did he-
black.
It's profit.
You're good.
It's profit.
Did he get any Enchanteds?
He didn't. No, he got a
I
few
don't know what that is. You lost
legendaries.
me. What's an enchanted?
These are enchanted. The
Don't show
Oh
her.
my god, he just dropped his pants.
Don't show her.
No, he did not. He did not. show me his
the like
testicles.
shiny.
Look at
alternate
my
art cards.
dick.
Oh, it's a shiny. It'd be
So
funny
like
if it
a
was
regular
just showed
card
me his
looks like
balls.
this, right? And it's like got artwork, and
Uh-huh.
then like enchanteds are foil and shiny
Oh.
and stuff like that. So
Say shiny one more time, Travis.
shiny.
Did he get any enchanted then? I missed it because I was trying to figure out what an enchanted was.
He did not get any enchanted. No.
Okay.
No, they're hard to find. They're really hard to find.
Abracadabra.
Yeah. Did you know that Harry Potter doesn't have a lightning bolt scar, but it's actually the shape of the way you move your wand to cast that killing spell?
What? That can't
Yeah.
be true. Is it? I just thought it was
True.
like an S for Slytherin because he's really in Slytherin. It should be in Slytherin house.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it's because he's really a woman. Because she
You asked
sucks.
for it. Here it
Oh
is.
my! I don't even.
No, it's because
I understand
she's
Lorcana better than what you just said.
because what's her face, the homeless person who wrote the stories.
Is she homeless?
She was. She's
She's not anymore.
no, not
J.K.
anymore.
Rowling.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling. She was homeless when she wrote Harry
And she
Potter.
doesn't like trans people.
Right.
Okay.
So,
That's right.
so
I
I just
remember now.
assumed the lightning bolt was a stance against transgender rights.
You're probably right. It
All
probably
right, that's our
was.
show, everybody. Thank you so
Oh
much for
my God.
listening. Thanks
This
for
is what they could
watching.
have done on that panel to liven things up a bit.
Yeah.
That guy gives a dud. You go, oh, wow, Mike, I didn't think about that.
I hate all ethnicities other than whites.
What the
That's what you'd say during the panel.
heck?
That's what you say
Someone
during the
clip it.
panel.
Someone clip it.
Oh, if someone hung in till the end. What a treat.
All right. Well,
Leave a comment on this video if you have terrible stereotypes that you that you subscribe to. Yeah. Thanks so much for listening. Rate, review, do all the things. Chelsea, thanks for having me on.
It's my pleasure.
Brandon, okay job, I guess, doing whatever it is
He
you do
did
over there.
definitely have his finger on a button the
Heyo.
whole time. Oh, Lord.
He's ready to take the whole thing down at any minute. So, all right, that's our show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Love
Until next
you.
time, I'm Travis.
Bye. Oh, Chelsea. I'm Chelsea. Bye.
Yeah. Like present. All right, bye.
We love you.